Silver and gold breakout within months.
In the metal market, in the silver market? I mean, why in the hell are they pounding the silver market? I mean, silver is something that it's not a threat to the dollar, but I guess they figure they have to do both. I mean, silver is actually a metal that is needed. It's critical. It's critical if we're ever going to be able to use sunlight for electricity. So, I mean, silver, gold, copper, I mean, energy, I mean, all these are critical metals. To get rid of our dependence on fossil fuels, we're going to need fossil fuels to destroy fossil fuels. Anyway, I know I've said a lot of this, and, you know, I'll continue to say, but right now, you've got to be with gold. You've got to have it as a major insurance at a minimum in your portfolio. And I'll say for the first time, if your portfolio was nothing other than precious metals and a few other commodities, for the first time, I would not disagree with that as a portfolio holding. I mean, in other words, not really diversifying outside of it. But I'm not recommending that. It's just that I would not disagree with it as a strategy. I mean, I have to say I'm not, far from that in my personal accounts. But, as a money manager, I have to be diversified a little bit, et cetera. But this is getting very, very close, Eric. And I'm not saying tomorrow, but I am saying I'm saying it's probably months away, maybe 4 months. You're talking about that breakout, and that's going to be one of the most meaningful and greatest breakouts any market has ever had, stocks, metals, anything has ever had in, the history of markets. So I will leave it there, basically, and say to people, please own gold. Please at least protect yourself with gold. It's coming. The days of dollar hegemony, they're ending. It's right in front of us. We cannot, it's becoming too clear to ignore that a dollar hegemony, the ability to print endless amounts of dollars, is not a solution. We have reached the point where problems can no longer be solved with this kind of monetary system. So something different is coming, and I think that if something different is going to involve gold as a centerpiece. So I will leave it there and just say, buy gold, own it, make sure. And if it goes down, if it goes down to any further, just, if you don't have enough, use that as a gift. And I think, that's basically my message.
So Dr. Stephen Leeb thinks we're about to see a massive silver and gold breakout like we've never seen in any other financial markets within months. And I hope he's right. I hope he's right. Now, he also mentioned that he's not against someone who's solely exposed in their portfolio to gold, silver, and commodities. He said he's a little bit more diversified, but personally, he's not too far off that. And, I've said here, I'm not all in gold and silver. In the physical market, I'm around the 20%, just under 20% of my portfolio is holding in the physical gold and silver market. I'm then holding a lot of gold and silver miners and explorers, and then I'm holding a lot of different commodities as well. I still got a couple of real estate, cash flow, investment properties, no debt on those things. As you guys know, I'm holding a lot of US dollars for that. Being an Australian, that dollar milkshake play with a liquidity event, the Aussie dollar falling, stocks getting beaten down, I convert that US dollars into Australian dollars. So I'm holding some US dollars in my portfolio as well. And then I trade options both on the long and the short side, and use spreads and do it for income. And I've done videos on that. You can check that out. And so, I am a little bit more diversified, but I am heavily, and I'm overweight. I've never been this much overweight in my portfolio towards the gold, silver, and commodity market. So I tend to agree with him. Now, as you guys know, I am bearish the stock market. I think the stock market has been pumped up by central bank liquidity, and obviously with record low interest rates, it has forced investors of all sorts, from institutional investors and retail investors, out the risk curve to get yield, and so we have a bubble in the stock market, and so I'm bearish that. But even though I'm bearish that, I'm still bullish the metals. The metals are undervalued. The underlying metals undervalued, and even in stock market crash, I think gold will perform really well. Silver not too bad as well, but in particular gold. But even though I'm bullish the metals, I'm even more bullish the miners. And as you can see, even during the GFC, the miners went up. There were gains to be made in the silver miners and even the gold miners as well. And, you know, when some of the miners that I'm buying and owning at the moment, you know, are trading on single digit multiples, providing free cash flow, the macro supports it. Like, these are value trades, and I think we're rotating into value very clearly. Yeah, and a lot of people will say, well, why would you buy gold mining stocks if the market's going to crash? Well, some gold mining stocks will go down, but it'll be temporary. And for those of you who don't know about homestake mines, well, while the Dow fell 2/3, homestake posted a 600% gain, and that was also during a time where Roosevelt confiscated gold. Gold was revalued, and while the Dow got smashed, homestake boomed. And so, you know, this is where I say individual stock pickers earn their keep. We've had this ETF passive bubble boom, if you will, predominantly going into growth and tech stocks, but in a rising interest rate environment and in a bearish overall index, this is where, you know, the individual stock pickers earn their keep. And I think there's tremendous value in the miners, CPI, just the whole macro setup, the whole energy crisis. All of that just sets up for you know, more inflation, higher CPI. Even if central banks raise rates, still large negative real yields, which is bullish the underlying metal. And ultimately, as capital flows into the mining space, the gold and silver mining space, we're going to see big breakouts. So, you know, Dr. Stephen Leeb, he says we're going to have a huge breakout like we've never seen before within months. I don't know. I don't know if he's right or not. I don't have a crystal ball, you know, and I don't know what data or what inside information he potentially has. There's nothing that I'm seeing that says, well, yep, it's about to break out. It's not about to break out. I mean, the whole fundamental macro picture is behind it. There's massive tailwinds behind it from that point of view. But ultimately, it just means, you know, or it's just going to break out when that capital rotates into this sector. And just like it did from March 2020 through to August 2020, and we saw huge jumps. And I had some stocks, miners, double and triple in price during that time. And I had explorers like Chalice that went 25x, 25 times. So is there a breakout coming? I believe there is. When, I don't know. How big a breakout, I don't know. So, you know, take Dr. Stephen Leeb with a grain of salt. But What do you guys think? Love to see your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Once again, if you like this video, guys, please hit that like button. Really do appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you all again on another episode of Finance Uncut.